Give me my theme music.
What is up, Buff Nation, and welcome into Buffs News Weekly. I'm your host, Russ Dornish. Before we get started on today's video, make sure to hit the like button down below and, of course, subscribe. We are getting so close to the 5,000 subscribers mark. And without further ado, today we are going to be taking a look at a player that is starting to turn some heads when it comes to Colorado's spring practice, and that is newcomer tight end Zach Atkins. Atkins, of course, transferred to Colorado in this past winter transfer portal and was the #1 rated tight end in the portal on many of the lists out there. Had interest from South Carolina, had interest from a few other teams that were really going after him, but Colorado ended up securing his services. And while his season got off to a slow start due to some injuries, has really started to come on the last few weeks in spring practice and started to really turn heads, including today when tight ends coach was interviewed and talked about Zach Atkins. So I want to highlight that interview just real quick, and then we'll talk a little bit more about what Atkins brings to the program, what we should be looking forward to, and why this is such an important aspect going into the fall season. So here's what the coach had to say about Atkins.
Run and catch. He had a chip on his shoulder. Like, he's a D2 guy, but he had all the tangibles and all the qualities and traits that we look for. He could run. He could catch. He had the length. He was really tough. Like, on his tape, we saw him striking people. Like, he wasn't afraid to put his face mask on people and use his hands. So that's something you really look for to tight ends, especially here. Like, we want guys that can run and catch, obviously, but guys who are willing and guys who are going to embrace your mindset and strike someone. Like, that's what I saw on his tape. And the fact that he's coming from the Division II level and he's elevating, that guy's got a chip on his shoulder, and he shows it every single day.
Okay, so obviously Zach Atkins coming in from the Division II level. This is what I talk about in a lot of my videos, a lot of my lives, if you guys are regular watchers of the channel, that there's something different about getting a transfer from a Power 4 blue blood program versus getting a productive performer from a lower level. The reason the difference comes from that is the fact that there is room to grow, okay? They have not been to that top level yet, but they are showing constant improvement, development, getting better and better. And so this is their opportunity that they get at the top level to really show what they're able to do. Whereas a player who may leave a blue blood or another Power 4 team, they are leaving for a specific reason. They didn't beat out the guy in front of them. Something else happened. So a lot of red flags that necessarily go with those players versus a guy like Zach Atkins, who has been working hard, trying to develop his game, trying to get better, and overall has really shown up to be a much better performer and started to produce. So the question is, can he produce now at the next level? And that is what we are looking at right now. Now, Zach Atkins as a tight end, for those of you who have been following Colorado since Coach Prime came into the fold, tight end is one position that Colorado has always struggled with. Of course, the very first year, they ended up converting a wide receiver in Mikey Harrison to be a tight end for the program. Now, Harrison actually had a pretty decent season, but most of that just had to do with his pass catching ability. Since Coach Prime has come here, he's never had a full all-around tight end to be able to use both in the passing game, the blocking game. What he's had to do is honestly convert. Last year, the leading tight end was Savell Smalls, who originally transferred to Colorado as a defensive end and came into college as a 5-star defensive end. So not really what you want to see when it comes to a strong pass-catching tight end who can also block. And Zach Atkins was brought in to really try and be that all-around starting tight end that can both catch and block so that we can start running the ball better. We can start doing some different sets rather than doing 5 wide receivers to give us that opportunity to be a pass-heavy team. We can have a tight end now full time in there, helping with the blocking, helping with the run game, and also being able to catch the ball. And so far, Zach Atkins has been everything that we have thought him to be thus far in the spring. Now, I want to highlight some of Zach Atkins' highlights when it comes to what he was able to do at the Division II level. Again, he has good tape, looked really, really good when it came to what he was able to accomplish at that level. And so that's something we've got to pay attention to, and something that, you know, is why Colorado brought him in. It's why so many other teams had interest in Atkins to be able to come to their program, and why he was also rated the #1 tight end in that winter transfer portal. So obviously saw a lot of great things, some good route running abilities, great at catching the ball. We've already seen that in spring practice. There's been a number of highlight plays that have already been shown out there on YouTube or on the different videos. So he's showing out when it comes to that, really just being able to be that all-around tight end that teams are wanting. And so, you know, if I'm being honest, I think this could be a very, very, not under the radar. I don't want to say that because obviously people know who he is and know what he's about. But I don't think a lot of people have them high on their list for the breakout players that Colorado added. I feel like Zach Atkins, not always talked about when we talk about the transfers who came in or the freshmen that came into Colorado this past offseason. And so I just wanted to highlight him a little bit more today in the video, obviously being talked about by the coaches in today's press conference, and just the things that he is able to do so far in the spring practices that we've seen. Somebody that I would say right now, if you watch this video, pay attention to that spring game when it comes up on the April the 19th, because I have a feeling that Zach Atkins could have a very, very good performance there to really show up what he could potentially be once the season starts. So again, just wanted to highlight what his abilities were. Again, the blocking, catching, all of that. We need an all-around tight end in this program, especially if we are going to be a much more two-dimensional team, being able to run the ball, being able to pass the ball. Zach Atkins is going to be a major part of that, and I just wanted to highlight that today here in a quick little short video for those of you. So appreciate you guys for watching. Of course, make sure to like this video if you like this content and all the things we do here, and make sure to get that subscription button hit and the bell notification turned on so you know when we go live or when new videos drop each and every day. For now, I appreciate you guys so much for all the support and love. For Buffs News Weekly, I'm Russ Dornish. Sko Buffs.